Who do you become when a relationship fails or somebody walks out of your life? You might find yourself asking questions like, will I ever find somebody as beautiful as her? What's wrong with me? What could I have done differently? And then starts this painful drought of self-sabotage, overthinking, anxiety, and just unnecessary stress and overthinking that leads us down a path of self-pity, like we're not enabled to do things in life. And the worst part about it is this can bleed into all aspects of your life. Your business can lead into your content, can lead into your relationships. And if we continue to close ourselves off because of that uncomfortable feeling, as a result, we'll close off our opportunities, we'll close off our heart, we'll close off all of our relationships, everything else will suffer. And I don't want that for you. So if you're in that boat, then I think this video is for you. I'm going to share with you every single thing that has helped me through my own heartbreaks and my journey. And I think it'll really help you, because I can say coming out of it that I feel thankful for those people walking out of my life. Because truth be told, people walk in and out of your life for a reason. And I heard a quote recently that I feel like will spark this conversation in a really good direction, which is, adversity will reveal a man to himself. So last September, I went through a breakup, by far the hardest breakup that I've ever been through. It was a 4.5-year relationship. I had a lot of love for this girl and was not expecting what happened to happen. We'll just put it that way. I was in complete shock. After the breakup, I went down this rabbit hole of just unpacking what I felt like I could have done differently, which I feel like was good, but I was allowing it to affect me in a way that I don't think was serving me in the very beginning, which is totally normal, right? Like when we go through that heartbreak, it just feels tough. It feels like a burden on us. It feels like a lot of weight on our shoulders, and it's hard to not think about it. And honestly, if we just didn't think about it, then there probably is a deeper problem, right? So like going through that pain and that suffering is purposeful and can be really good for you. So if you are going through a breakup right now, or you are dealing with one, know that that pain that you feel is absolutely necessary to getting through the process. But shortly after the breakup, of course, I was clinging to the relationship, wishing that it didn't end, wishing that I did things differently, reflecting on all the moments that I could have done things differently, and just like beating myself up, right? But there is no point to beating yourself up. Everything happens for a reason. People walk in and out of your life for a reason. You know, I'm sure you can reflect on chapters in your life where you were friends with a certain person. You thought that y'all were going to be friends forever. And it was like your best bud, right? Like your best friend. You did everything together and you're like, dude, I can't wait till we get older and we have barbecues with our kids and we live in the same neighborhood. And then what happens? You go to college in different places. That person goes on and lives a different life. You go on and live a different life. That person ends up having kids, and, you know, you just go your separate ways. And that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that. It's just the fact. It's a pure fact that we're constantly growing. And through that growth, we attract different types of people into our lives. So if I'm going down a rabbit hole of content creation, it's inevitable that I'm probably going to attract friends in my life who are also content creators, because we'll have a lot to talk about. And that doesn't mean that my past friendships were wrong or anything was wrong with it. It served me during that chapter in life. And it's important to realize that nothing is permanent. Absolutely nothing in life is permanent. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we can cope in a better way with relationships that go our separate ways. I'm about to turn 29. When I reflect back on my experience, if I were to say anything to my younger self, I would let him know that anything in life is not worth getting too attached to. Don't be attached to what you feel like your career is going to be. Don't be attached to what you feel like your best friend is going to be. Don't be attached to what you feel like your impact on the world is going to be. It's always going to change and blossom into something different, right? Coming out of that relationship, now it's been September? Well, let's see, it's been 7. Holy shit. Damn. I just realized that it's almost been a year. That is crazy. Fast forward about 8, 9, 10 months. I can now say that it was for a bigger purpose. Ever since that breakup, I feel like I've learned so much about myself that I felt like I don't know if I would have actually learned those things had I not gone through that heartbreak. And the caveat to all this is that me and that partner were just not compatible. And it's that simple. So I think this caters into all relationships, right? Some friendships get to a point where you're just not compatible. Like, I'm super grateful for that past experience with my last partner. She taught me so much. She taught me so much about relationships, about life, about myself, about providing for animals and taking care of spaces. And I'm taking that forward in my life, right? Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna give a I'm gonna give a little shout out to my ex, because I don't know if I would have this decorating skills without her. And that's just one small reason as to like how we can turn a negative into a positive. You know, with the right processing and the healing and the timing, you get to a point where you're like, man, I'm so grateful for that person. Even though we're not together, even though they've moved on, done different things, and I'm doing on my own thing, I'm grateful for that, because without that chapter in my life, I wouldn't be who I am today. But the one thing that I will say is the most crucial part to this entire process of coping with just people walking in and out of your life, you need to take time to process what just happened. I think after my breakup, I took like a whole month off of doing anything. And I saw that as a way of slowing down to speed up. Like, I really needed to process what just happened. Me going and focusing on building the business and creating another YouTube video, sure, I could have done it, but where would it have gotten me, right? Because there were some feelings that were really strong getting in the way of me doing those things. Journal about it. Go on a walk about these things. Set aside time. You know, if you need to say like, hey, I can't hang out this weekend because you need to sit with those emotions, that is going to be the most productive thing you do in the long run. I promise you that 1 month that I took off of just everything was so crucial to me getting to the next step of realizing what happened, one, and two, what I'm capable of doing moving forward. You know, going back to that quote in the beginning of the video, adversity will reveal a man to himself. Yeah, it's through the hardship that we learn the most beautiful lessons, that we are challenged, and that, you know, God is trying to teach us a lesson, right? We can't learn without making mistakes. We can't learn without hardship and adversity. So in a way, it's like, let's embrace this difficult feeling, this difficult emotion, and make the most of it, right? Like, not let ourselves be defined by hardships, because hardships are inevitable and they are necessary to growth. It's like on the other side of that hardship lies the growth that you're looking for. And I truly feel like that is the underlying message I'm trying to get here, is that when you're going through loss and when you're going through heartbreak, don't beat yourself up too much. You know, like, sure, there are things that you could have done better in that relationship. Sure, you could have said things differently or acted differently, but you can't go back and change it now, can you? All you can do is reflect on that, let that pain sit so that it can teach you the lesson, so that whenever it comes time that you're near a hot stove again, you don't touch the hot stove. This is why pain is so useful. But if we constantly are distracting ourselves through social media, through Netflix, through bad habits, through drugs, alcohol, partying, hanging out with the wrong people, eventually that pain is going to creep up. And the longer you delay it, the more painful it's going to be, in my opinion. So the sooner that you can just sit with the pain, understand that people come in and out of your life for a reason, and also understand that adversity is what shapes you into the person that you are looking to become, you'll take all of this and eventually get to a place where you find gratitude for all of the hardships, every single thing that you've been through. This isn't just relationships, by the way. This goes with pain in general. And through me just journaling about my feelings, sitting in my own presence and allowing that pain to sit there, going on walks and really just opening up to people I really deeply trusted. Not everybody under the sun, but just talking to my best friend, talking to my family, you know, really opening up about things that I hadn't opened up before with people that I trust, is what helped me get to a point where a few months after the breakup, I was able to open myself up back to the world. I was able to step into a whole social environment by myself, which was Let me take a second to talk about that. Before this breakup, I used to never do shit alone. Like maybe I would go to a restaurant. I wasn't really scared of like eating by myself. But I never went to social events by myself without expecting to see somebody who I knew there. And shortly after, I would say like 2 months after the breakup, because I sat with that pain and processed it in a healthy way, I was able to step out and open myself up to new opportunities. And I'm telling you that since the very first time that I stepped out to a networking event by myself, my entire life has changed. I now have a coach. I now have friends who I've been growing relationships with. I now have people that, you know, I can rely on when it comes to talking about entrepreneurship. And I have also been able to get DJ gigs because of that day of going out. Even though I didn't necessarily want to go out, I was still able to allow myself to go out because of the processing and the healing that I had went through. So it takes that solitude and kind of closing yourself off from the world and processing things in order to open yourself up. There's 2 ways to do that. One way is to close yourself off and process it. Another way is to close yourself off from the world and not process it, which is just distract yourself through social media, close all the blinds, never walk out of your house, never go on walks by yourself, never do anything, and just try to numb the pain. Numbing the pain is going to be the worst thing that you can do. Because like I said earlier, it's always going to creep back up. And another beautiful thing about just opening up about my feelings with friends and family is that it has made me closer with those people. And that to me is beautiful, right? Like sometimes people walk out of your life so that other people can walk in, right? Or walk in on a deeper level. You don't need to know people in person. If you feel isolated, you don't know anybody locally, find people online. But I guarantee you there are people around you locally. And all it takes is just a simple approach and just learning how to talk to people. While I'm on that topic, if that is something that you guys would be interested in, just like how to approach strangers and how to make friends, let me know in the comments because I can definitely talk about that. But every single chapter of your life, every single relationship serves a bigger purpose. I'm so freaking grateful for the heartbreak that I experienced because I feel like it truly revealed me to myself, right? Going back to that quote, adversity will reveal a man to himself. Like, damn, that is so fire. And if you're a female watching this, I think this applies to you as well. I don't think it's just men, but adversity is the key to moving forward and creating your life and becoming that higher version of yourself. And remember that relationships come and go. Nothing is permanent. Nothing in life is permanent, and we have to remember that because otherwise we're going to get attached to things, and when those things end up leaving us, we're going to self-destruct and we're going to get the shit into the stick. It's just not cool. It's not cool, man. It's just not cool. But you'll get to a point where you look back and you're like, damn, I needed that. I needed that heartbreak. I needed that pain for me to wake up, to see what I'm capable of, and to fully realize what my life has in store for me, because this moment right here does not define me. It just is catapulting me to the next chapter. It's exactly what I need to get to this next point in life. Don't cling to things. Just surrender to the journey. Just surrender to, being flexible with life and letting go of things. And through that letting go, realizing that because I'm letting go of this, something else is able to come in. One door closes, another door opens. The last thing I'll say is that when you're going through this pain, be the type of person that you want to see in your life. It starts within, and what happens within attracts externally. So if you start with the internal, this is how you blossom and attract the type of people that are meant to serve you in your life, to support you through this next chapter, and to really guide you and give you the encouragement that you need to step into this next chapter of your reaching your higher self, right? So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to reach out to me on Instagram, I'd be happy to connect with you. My handle is ashton T. Joe. And also, I just opened up one-on-one coaching to the public. So if you're interested in checking that out, maybe you're dealing with a similar issue that I'm talking about in this video, I'd love to help. You can book a free consultation using the link in my description. Thank you again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Much love. Bye.